Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say, Kalaim lo Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Maharakah Kadash, or Baruch Thom. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And as always, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. It's a younger brother here, Shema Shawan. This is going to be a pretty easy video, pretty quick one. I found this article from NCBI, which, as we know, is the National Center for Biotechnology Information. It's like a place you can get different articles and shit from. So what I did was I went to Google Scholar, looked up biblical diet. I was interested in seeing how this diet that we eat, the clean foods that we're allowed to eat, prevents disease, and other things. And I found this article. It's quite long, so we're not going to get into it. But biblical ills and remedies. It's from the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine, and it's from December 1986. So this talks about a lot of different ailments, lots of different things, so on and so forth. But I'm not really gonna, you know, get into, these things. There's certain things with medicines, which, as we know, Sirach 38:4. Medicines, the Lord has created medicines out of the earth. If you have issues and sicknesses, you should really turn to herbs. And if that doesn't work, you should pray on it and get right. Whatever's wrong, you need to get right. So a lot of the precepts here, this article actually has here. So I'm going to use the precepts from this article. So this is preventative medicine. I skipped down. The first organized health service was that of the Israelites in the wilderness, and its management was assigned to the priesthood. The program started with the precept that holiness could lead to cleanliness, Deuteronomy 23:14. Alright, so exactly right. When you read Deuteronomy 23, it's all about regulations for being clean. What do you do? How do you keep clean? Keep the camp clean. Keep the camp holy. So on and so forth. So that's gonna be the first precept we're gonna get. We're actually gonna start up a little bit ahead at like about the 9th verse. Alright, so this is the book of Deuteronomy to the 23. Verse 9, when the whole go forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing. Alright, so when you go to war against your enemies, be sure to stay away from anything that is impure. It's going to explain more, but stay away from those idols that these heathens have. When you kill them, on their dead bodies, they could have an idol or some sort of thing on them. And that word for wicked, that word looks like rai. Wicked, evil. When you say shalak rayam, and send evils upon your enemies. Bad, evil, wicked, misery, evil ethically, evil, misery, worse, wicked. Yeah, so stay away from anything that is wicked. Let's see here. Unclean thing. So that's the point. When you click down to the what is this? The Strong's Driver Breaks lexicon. That's how you get that. So, and actually, let me double check, because these things are quite easy to check. You just go to thekingjames.com, and then they'll translate it to the paleo. Once you see the paleo, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. So that's rai. Beautiful. I'm very big on checking and double checking. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay. If there be many, this is Deuteronomy 23 verse 10. If there be any among you that is not clean by reason of uncleanness that chances him by night, then shall he go and brought out of the camp. He should not come within the camp. So, the scriptures say, if you have any sort of emission, through your semen, whether you have sex and you release seed, um, you're unclean, because that semen is unclean. So you're unclean into the even. So you gotta stay away from people unto the even, and then you're clean again. But if it happens to you at night, then you stay outside the camp all day. All right, verse 11. So from that night until the next night. Verse 11. But it shall be when even cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. So at night, if you're unclean, whether it be sexual intercourse or whatever, um, you stay out until the next day sundown. So um, I'm not gonna use today as an example. Say, the Pesach ceremony is about to end. Well, the first day of Pesach is about to end tonight at around 7. It's about 50 minutes from now, right? Say like about 7:30, someone went and had sex with a girl. You would be unclean from that time all the way till Thursday at 7. So that's basically what's going on here. Um, and when even cometh on, he shall wash himself with water. And when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. So that proves itself. Verse 12. And thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whether thou shalt go forth abroad. Thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon or a tool, and it shall be when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, when you use the bathroom, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. Different translation, NLT. Verse 12, Deuteronomy 23:12. You must have a designated area so the camp where you can go to relieve yourself. Each of you must have a spade as part of your equipment. Whenever you relieve yourself, dig a hole with the spade and cover the excrement. That's the point. Deuteronomy 23, verse 14. For the Lord thy power walketh in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thy enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy. They shall see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Right, with Israel, whenever we're in our right mind, we're close to the Lord will give us that spiritual power to take down our enemies. But whenever we went off, the Lord would, take it away. These heathens would beat the living shit out of us. But I want to give a couple precepts on how, you don't serve the Lord. It's going to lead to your death. So let's get those precepts. Proverbs 11, verse 19. As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. All right. So when you pursue, the righteousness, it's gonna lead to your life. But you pursue evil, it's gonna lead to your death. And that same word, evil, unclean things, wickedness. So you pursue these idols, these bullshit, clean to heaven worship, whatever it is, man. It's gonna lead to your death. All right, let's get another translation. Cause I like to check other translations. Sometimes other translations go way the hell off. Blue letter goes off, on certain things, but you gotta find that out. So godly people find life, evil people find death. Point made. And as we know, this truth represents life. I was talking with the brother Kamayam. We were talking about something that happened, a little interaction I had with some Mormons where I cut the living shit out of them. They came around my house and I sent them packing. But that's gonna be talked about later today. We're gonna do an entire video on an expose on that whole thing. I love to do corporate exposés, exposing industries and corrupt business practices, whether it be money laundering. So we're gonna get into that, Lord willing. But back to this lesson, but that's just a precept. Ezekiel 27, like that bones and that breath come back into us. It's us coming back to our power, man, learning who we are. That skin, us knowing that we're Israelites, all right, not just, fucking Africans, as they say, which that name is fucking bullshit, okay? Fucking Scipio Africanus, man. That name, what were they called before Africanus? The fucking Zondervan says ham. progenitors of dark races, not the Negroes. Which the fucking Zondervan went off. Shem, Ham, and Japheth, all dark-skinned people. The histories, the documents, the archaeology shows you that Shem, Ham, and Japheth are dark-skinned. Point blank, period. All right. Edomites came later, man. Edomites came later out of Isaac, man. All right. Point blank, period. Israelites are dark skinned, but we're gonna get into that. I'm going a little bit all over the place. I'm excited to talk about that video later today, but we're gonna focus here. That's just a preset on how being out. Let's read it. Proverbs to the 21 verse 16. The man that wanted out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So when you're out the way of understanding, where you're into this wickedness and bullshit, all right, you're in the congregation of the dead. You're spiritually dead. All right, and there's many different precepts that goes into it. It's also Revelation 11 chapter goes into it as well. All right, so that's basically what I want to touch on here in Deuteronomy 23. So we're commanded to be holy, man. And as we know, hold on, that word holy means to be separated. Okay. And where there's Quadash, sacred, set apart. So we're commanded to be set apart from the ways of this world. I made the point. So moving on. The diet, particularly the banning of unclean animals and of the drinking of blood, both of which could transmit infections. They got Leviticus 11, chapter 11, verse 2. All right, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 2. We're going to skip around here. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1. The Lord spake unto Moses, to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth, because it's clean and unclean beasts. And it didn't just start with Moses and Aaron. It actually started with Noah. And it says right there, clean and unclean. Noah also knew laws. The laws were oral, just before they were written down. Looking upon your father's nakedness. That was a law. That those laws were always around, man, and that's another lesson for another time. But the law didn't just pop up with Moses, man. You gotta study, man, and I'm still studying and I'm still learning, and Lord willing, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get sharper, and I'm gonna learn more, man. So then, whoever comes up through the Spirit, I'm gonna be able to just slice and dice and take them out. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 3. Whatsoever part the hoof is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Alright, so whatever has cloven foot and chews the cud, which I'm not going to explain all that again. Like, they basically eat food and throw it up again along those lines and eat it up again. That's why you see those cows. They do that. It's like their stomachs have a certain kind of way about them. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or them that divide the hoof. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as a camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. So the camel is unclean unto us, because though he chews the cud, he doesn't have a divided hoof, so we're not supposed to eat camels. All right. Camels are right for riding, but they're not lawful to eat. So I get it to say it. However, you may not, however, eat the following animals because, hold on, Slakia, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 4, New Living Translation. You may not, however, eat the following animals that have split hooves or that chew the cud, but not both. The camel chews the cud, but does not have split hooves, so it's ceremonially unclean for you. Exactly. All right, and camels are right for riding. Riding camel. There we go. I'm not gonna read all this. Genesis chapter 24, verse 64. Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. So, this is when, of course, Isaac is about to meet Rebecca. And we're not gonna go into this, but we know that she covered herself with a veil, which women are not gonna do today. You know, is a completely different kind of like energy, man. Like women are like actually feminine. Like a lot of these women are like men. They're like, besides their bits on them that keep them from being men. They might as well just be niggas. This is once again NCBI, National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health .gov. Blood parasites of livestock in certain regions in Saudi Arabia. This is going to prove that the camels have, not just camels, but various animals have blood parasites. That's also why we're not supposed to drink blood or eat blood, which you can read about in Acts the 15th chapter, because you have something called blood parasites. All right. Blood samples from camels, sheep, and goats and cattle from 6 regions in Saudi Arabia were examined for blood parasites. Assyria region camels were disinfected, while those of the eastern Jazan, northern frontiers, Rida, and Tabouk regions were infected with trypanosoma avanci, 5 to 40%. Those of Riyadh, and the eastern regions were infected with dipit. Riyadh kind of sounds like Rayam. And it probably has a different meaning. Dipilatoma avanci, and those of the eastern Jazan and Riyadh regions were infected with different this fucking species. Sheep and goats of all tested regions were infected with this species. Blah 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 blah. Sheep's. We're gonna skip down a little bit. I was just talking about it, but basically, I'm looking for camels. Where did I find camels? Slovakia. There we go. Camels. Yeah. So also this is the first report in Saudi Arabia of D. avanci in camels, A. ovis, and B. motasi in sheep, A. marginari, and B. bijamina in cattle. So basically, they found these blood parasites inside these camels. So these animals do have it. Yes, clean animals have it too, but that's just all the more reason why you shouldn't eat these unclean animals. Of course, you don't want to eat animals that have blood parasites in them anyway, but drinking blood just puts you at so much more risk. Of course, cooking your food lowers the risk of you catching parasites and ingesting them into your body. Okay? So this was kind of fucked it up here, but Slovakia. I thought I saw something here that was just kind of proving it, but I guess that was pretty much what I saw. Slovakia, but basically camels have blood parasites. Didn't really need to read all that, but Slovakia. I wanted that. We're also gonna go back to Leviticus 11 chapter. I'm doing my best here, so if I make a little mistake, forgive. These shall you eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters and the seas and in the rivers, them shall you eat, like salmon, things like that. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and the rivers, of all that move in the waters, of anything living thing that's in the waters, they shall be an abomination to you. Alright? They should not be even abomination. They shall be even abomination unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses in abomination, because a dead animal is food, so you're not supposed to eat it. Whatsoever have no fins or scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. So we're not supposed to eat things like shrimp, just nasty shit like that, which we're going to talk about that one now. Alright. I got this one article here. The dark line that runs down this is www.sunsentinel.com. The dark line that runs down the back of the shrimp isn't really a vein. It's an intestinal tract. Brown or blackish in color, it is the body waste, aka poop. It is also the filter for sand or grit, none of which you want to eat. So that's on the shrimp. You shouldn't eat fucking shrimp. All the more reason to not eat the fucking shrimp. Alright, this is a different article. Actually, I don't want this one. This is Parasites in Freshwater Shrimp from Amazonas Magazine. Seems to be about some sort of environmental thing. Let's go check it out. Yeah, so it's like some dude, some venture, kind of like his blog. I'm gonna take his word on it, man. I'm gonna take his word on it because I read this article. It sounds pretty legit. So this is Parasites of Freshwater Shrimp, May 12th, 2015. Not too old. Whatever plants, which it doesn't really matter about the age, obviously. We know that these unclean animals, as long as it makes the point, wherever plants or animals are domesticated and farmed, diseases and parasites are sure to be found. A number of parasites on freshwater aquarium shrimp are becoming more prevalent, apparently through the commercial aquaculture of several species, most notably those of the genus Neocardina, or Caridina. All right, so aquaculture is like basically, I did some digging on it. Commercial aquaculture has offered economic benefits to producing countries through the production of aquaculture products for food and or the generation of income through job creation by which to purchase food. Commercial aquaculture contributes to increasing food security. So basically, it's basically like farming fish. Like they got like little pods and shit for them and tanks where they put the fish in. So it's kind of like fishing, it's like farming fish, essentially. And this is from what I got that from. The context of commercial aquaculture was from FAO.org. Don't really know what FAO.org means. The site looks kind of funky. Okay, FAO Fisheries. And it's a technical paper. Of course, I'm not gonna dig into every little thing. Like when I read the thing about the thing about that, about the about the camels. All I wanted to show you is that there's presence of blood parasites can be in camel. Okay, and that camels are not supposed to be fucking eaten. That's why we don't drink blood. You but you kind of forget. You kind of forget certain things. And I cannot find what this means. Fishing and Aquaculture Department of FAO. I cannot find what the FAO means. Probably fishing agency, organization, or fishing aquaculture agency. I do not know what the hell this shit means. I'm gonna give up. FAO Fisheries. Okay, give me a second, because all you gotta do is look at a lot of these pages. You get their about page, and you can figure out what these three-letter organizations mean. And they don't have a fucking easily. Okay, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So that's what it is. Okay, so it seems to be involved in the United Nations somehow, probably some sort of subsidiary company. Looks like an NGO. Who knows? I'm not gonna really look into those guys right now. But yeah, camel blood has parasites in it. This article is here talking about how shrimp have them as well. The most common external parasites can be found in the animal surfaces and appendages. These infestations probably rarely cause mortality in the wild, but they're present, so you shouldn't eat fucking shrimp. But under the stressful conditions often found in densely stocked aquaculture ponds and tanks, they can get out of hand and negatively affect mobility, molting, growth, and function. Breeding and feeding may stop, and mortality may result. High infestation of the gills, also found with the Paratrichilides, can affect respiration. It may be fatal. Parasites are easily transmitted between species, so it's important to promptly treat any affected specimens, quarantine new shrimps, and apparently give all new animals a welcoming dip. Alright, so these shrimps, they carry parasites, so it's all the more reason not to fucking eat them. Alright, and now it's Amazonas, and that's pretty much that, for that one. And I think, was there anything else I wanted to touch on? Oh yeah, to finish off, because this is the last thing I want to touch on. But also recommending a diet low in animal fats. Leviticus chapter 3 verse 17, to avoid atherosclerosis. It's not a diet low in animal fats. It's a diet with none. All right, you're not supposed to eat the fat of animals, like the fat of the inner organs, which we're gonna explain. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 17. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations. Throughout, it should be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings that you eat neither fat nor blood. All right, so as I brought out in my Acts 15 video, blood was a pagan delicacy. So that's why you eat none of those things that are strangled. People would strangle the meat to keep the blood in it, so then they can eat the blood, because the pagans like to eat the fucking blood. Blood carries parasites. Blood is just not fucking good for you. The Lord is telling you right here not to eat blood. You eat blood, that's not good, man. You know, if you're eating blood right now, you gotta repent, man. You gotta repent. Stop eating that nasty shit. All right, so looked up the word suet. Suet is a raw, hard fat of beef, lamb, or mutton found around the loins and kidneys. Suet has a melting point of between 45 degrees Celsius and 50 degrees Celsius. Blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. So basically, it's like the fat, you know, in the inward parts of the animals, man. You're not supposed to eat that shit. You know, it says that you can remove it and get rid of it. You know, you're not supposed to, you know, eat that shit. You know, I was watching a video of a brother out there in Holland class, GMS Holland class, and he was talking about, you know, shawarma, like the shawarma lamb that he likes to buy. Well, I'm not sure if he likes to buy it. I'm not sure he probably doesn't eat that shit no more. But I'm not really, I don't know. I'm just gonna explain it first, and I'll kind of look around and see what it's up. Basically, a shawarma lamb has like bits and pieces of fat in it, you know, and you have to pick the pieces of fat out of it. You know, he talks about he hates it so much, you know, because like you got that fat in there, and it's basically in the fucking meat. Like when you cook it, the fat is gonna be in the fucking meat. You're gonna have to pick it off of it. You know, it's like, all right, someone coming upstairs. You know, currently don't really have that much money to be able to move out and get my own spot, but I will. So the brother was talking about that. You know, he hates it so much, so I don't know if he eats it. You know, he probably just moved on to something else. I don't know what he does. You know, that's him. You know, certain things just sucks, man. You know, Ezekiel forces us that we eat these defiled bread among the Eden. So that pretty much proves it. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this lesson. No blood, no fat. Alright, you know, you're not supposed to eat the fat of animals. They say low in animal fats. No, you're not supposed to eat you know, the fat of animals, you know, at all. Yeah, you gotta remove it. You know, here also when you cook it out, you know, that's that grease that's left in the pan. You're supposed to get rid of that. You're supposed to cook it to a point where you can get rid of the fat. You know, the fat of the animal can seep out, but I'm not really too hip to the whole animal terms. You know, so that's pretty much it for this lesson. I want to say Brakti Ho, Brakti Oshai, Brakti Ho, Brakti Oshai, Brakti Ho, Bashimi Oshai, Bashimar Kakadosh, Brakta. I shouldn't have said Brakta, but Shalom.